So I'm gonna try this again. So it's the second time I'm doing this, and that is actually speaking out about the plan that the Zionists have got, and it's the radical Zionists of them. You know, I'm not talking about the average Israeli, although they are probably unknowingly part of this plan. So it's a genuine plan, and I do have proof of this, and I am proof of this. You could say, okay. Um, so the actual plan, I believe it started probably a while ago. Maybe it wasn't intentional at the time, or maybe it was. You had September 11th, which obviously led to a lot of wars in the Middle East, a lot of poverty, a lot of death. But on the flip side of that, a lot of success for certain military companies, and financial gains to be made from that war. So yeah, 7 years, 7 wars in 5 years, kind of thing. If that rings bells, that's probably like the start of this whole agenda. All right, and then you had the creation of Bitcoin, which I believe is another rung along this plan. Again, I'm not going to get into any of these on this particular video. I'm just going to outline this. Okay, I might do a more in-depth video on my YouTube channel, so you're welcome to check that out if you want to. And I will talk about each point and the reason why they're part of this agenda. Okay, so after Bitcoin, you had COVID-19. Now, COVID-19 was a massive part of this plan. Okay, that's the way that they're gonna create a financial reset. So that was the start of it. Okay, the main start of it. But then it's still going on, to be fair, till this day. COVID, the effects of it, etc. We won't get into that. But then obviously you've got the control of wealth, the strategic control of wealth. Okay, and I'm not just on about natural resources. I'm on about everything. Yeah, I'm on about the reason that you're struggling to buy a house, and property prices are going up. It's because there's a garnered interest to make sure you're bought out of it by 2030, likely. Okay, they want you to be dependent on them. All right. And then obviously you've got Uber. Now Uber's another part of this plan. They are part of it. And then you also have the control of political opposition. So for example, Imran Khan in Pakistan, just before the whole Palestine thing kind of took off, you know, he randomly had this issue, of fraud, alleged fraud, which makes no sense. And to this day, he's not been seen. Okay, just remember that. All right, there is other kind of ideas of control of political opposition, which we're seeing, but I'm not going to get into that in this video. You've got the war in Palestine, again, massive part of the plan. You've got the highest of natural resources, which we've talked about. You've got the war in Ukraine, the potential war in Venezuela, the war with China, the war with then maybe Iran and the Middle East to follow, Greater Israel. And then you've also got the strategic decline of Europe. You've got the implementation of smart cities and digital currencies to follow in the next 5 years. You've got Palantir and other kind of technologies that are building databases on you all, and do not for 1 second believe that that won't be used to target individuals. Whether you're a Muslim, whether you're a Christian, whether you have certain views, etc. You're all going to be targeted at one point. You've got obviously blackmail and social influence, which we've seen through Diddy and Epstein. And then obviously you've got the companies. A lot of them are American companies that are facilitating these plans, either willingly or because of due pressure, and it's probably because of due pressure, I'd imagine. And then obviously you've probably got some willingly, like Oracle, maybe, I don't know, like he's willing to go over and build data centers in Israel. Maybe even Israel owns Oracle. Who knows? And then you've got celebs changing. Okay, and that's another massive one that a lot of people haven't realized. And it's not something I'm going to get into this video again. But a lot of celebrities have been changed, like Ariana Grande. They don't quite look the same. They don't quite feel like the same person. Why is that? All right, I've got the answers, and I will tell you shortly. All right, and then you've also got the use of Neuralink. All right, so that's gonna wrap it up. It's been a bit of a long video, but stay tuned.